All right, we've got our lights, we've got our camera, and now we're going to do our final renders. Now, we want to reconfirm a couple of settings before we move on. So first of all, I'm going to go to my lights, and I'll hit Control A if I don't see the attribute editor on the right. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the attribute editor, and I'm going to make sure that Ray Trace Shadows is checked off. It should be checked off for any light that's going to be casting a shadow. So I'm just kind of making sure that that is so. All right, so now I've got that taken care of. And the next thing I need to do is fix my render settings. So up at the top of the user interface, you'll see there those Hollywood clapboards. The one with the two radio buttons to the left is our render window. So when I click on that, I now have access to that dialog window. So the first thing to do is I would go to the Common tab. Now, what you would probably want to do if this were going to be print, you would bump that resolution that you see down at the bottom up to about 250, maybe 300. It really depends on the CPU of the computer you're working on. For the sake of this tutorial, so it kind of renders a little quicker, I'm going to leave the default 72. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Maya Software. And under quality, I want to make sure production quality is chosen. Then the last thing I want to do is go down and open up the Ray Trace tab and make sure Ray Trace is checked off there as well. So the lights and Ray Trace have to be checked off if you intend to have shadows and reflections from your blend. So anything with a shiny surface such as a mirror, you really have to have Ray Trace set. Okay, so we've got what we want. I'll close that out, and I'm just going to kind of set up a shot here. And at this point, it's really the compositions are up to you, as long as there's some form of variety to the shots that you're rendering. All right, so once I've got that, I'll click on the Final Gather button. That is the one directly to the left of the IPR. We'll click on that and render this out, and we'll save it to our folder on the desktop. All right, so it's rendered out. So now I'm going to go to the corner of the render window, and I'm going to click on File, Save Image. I'll go to my folder, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in that folder that I've designated for Maya. I'm changing the format down here to JPEG. All right, make sure you change it to a bitmap format, because if you don't, such as a JPEG or a PNG, you're not going to be able to open it in Photoshop and make the composite. So I'll go ahead and name this Room 1. And then I'll simply hit on Save. Okay, and we're going to do this 3 more times, and then we'll come back and make the composite in Photoshop.